Hi Rex, this is Corey Gant with Gant Property Inspections. Just finishing up this home inspection for you on this house just outside of Corvallis. And so I want to do a couple of videos for you. Exterior video walkthrough and interior video walkthrough. It's always best that you could be here so we could touch things and answer any questions. But of course, after you watch this and after you read through the report, I'm always available for questions, and I'll try to answer the best I can. Overall, it seems like a pretty solid house for an older manufactured home. Like the roof is newer, it needs to be cleaned off, but it actually is newer, looks good. The siding overall looks in really good shape. Newer paint on the siding and the decks. We'll look at these things in just a moment. So why don't we go ahead and flip it around and take a look. Here's your neighborhood and the house, 36. So like I said, the roof and gutters are newer. All of them need to be cleaned out or cleaned off because of the trees that are close by. But overall, it looks to be in really good condition. Same with the siding. Surprising how good of condition it is actually for the age of the house. Paint looks good. There are some touch-ups in caulk because of this horizontal piece of wood with no flashing. It's the way they do the manufactured homes. This caulking becomes really important to protect both this wood and this wood from moisture getting in there. So anyway, there's a few spots that caulking should be cleaned up, or touched up, filled in. Coming down, also looking at windows. They're older aluminum windows, and this one you can see it's all fogged up. That's also it's an opaque window for the bathroom, but it's also fogged up, which means the seal has failed. Now, since it's an opaque, I think that's the right word, you can't really see it from the inside. And same with this one here. Looks like the seal has failed. Doesn't matter a whole lot. However, this far one over here, I think the seal on it is failed too. Yeah, I can see it now, and I have pictures in the report. So there's moisture there in between the panes of glass. It's all kind of cosmetic at this point. And like these ones, you can't really even see it from the inside. You can only see it from the outside. Aluminum windows in general aren't great in our climate. They conduct heat, which means it transfers heat. Also it condenses, moisture condenses on the aluminum and can cause moisture issues on the window seals. Overall, it seems to be in good condition. It's just they're not very efficient. So if you want to have more efficient windows, you can upgrade to a thicker vinyl double pane window. The decks, let's talk about those real quick. They've been painted and they seem to be in good condition. And of course, in our climate, they either being stained or painted is necessary to keep them lasting a long time. This one actually it's a treated wood, and it looks okay, but it doesn't work as good as the paint. You can see it's absorbing some moisture there, and that should be cleaned off. All the debris just absorbs moisture and it won't last as long. So keeping that cleaned off. Also, I do note in the report that we call these climbable guardrails, which means young kids can climb and get up high and possibly fall. So it's kind of a safety issue if there's going to be kids around. If not, then it's not too concerning. Let's look at the other deck. It also looks to be in good condition. Paint looks good, has a climbable guardrail, but other than that, all looks to be in good condition. I recommend that you stain or paint decks that are out in the weather like this every couple years. Put a coat of paint on it to keep them long lasting. These nice big rhododendrons are encroaching on the house and walkway a little bit. I would trim them back a little more myself so they're not touching the house. Come back around. And right now they're really not touching the house, but it's pretty close. We want a good airflow through here to keep the house have an ability to dry. Also, there's been some birds for some reason making a big mess right here. Almost looks like they're just hanging out on that windowsill. I don't see any issues from above. Anyway, that should be cleaned in maybe figure out why they're hanging out there. Can't really tell. All right, let's walk back around to the back. Nice concrete patio back here. The view of the water. This patio here has settled, and so you have a pretty big crack and then a settling along there, which causes a tripping hazard. Should be aware of that. But overall, it seems like a nice place to hang out. I don't know if there's any fish out there, but it looks like it'd be a fun place to put a pole in. Electrical meter is here, and there's the main panel right here, but there's also two what we'd call sub panels. They're for the house there and over there for each side of the house. So I took those covers off, looked inside, the wiring looks good. In an emergency, if you want all the power to go off to the house, you flip the main breaker here. So that's that. Oh, let's look at these. Since we're here, take a look in these storage areas. Pretty nice. And it actually smells good in here. Sometimes you come in a storage place like this and it has a real bad musty smell. This does not. They smell real good. I like that. And there's another one here, the barn door with some shelving. And overall seems to be in good condition. Okay. Let's see. Here's great big stump here that was kind of in the way and could be removed. Also, this downspout's disconnected right there, so water just goes pooling up underneath that shed instead of going out in a way down the driveway. Also, the dirt has been pushed up by this stump higher than the actual siding on that shed, and that's not good. It holds moisture, and you can see that trim piece has a little bit of moisture damage at the bottom. Okay. That's about it. Oh, we can go ahead and talk about underneath the house. Overall, it looks okay. It doesn't have a vapor barrier, which we like to see a vapor barrier over all the dirt, which is just a 6mm black plastic. Most houses have that, and we recommend they have that. Plumbing, I didn't see any plumbing leaks. There's ASB drain line that drains over to the middle and down. There's pictures of that. Now the insulation, we call it a manufactured membrane that holds all the insulation and everything up. Well, this one's been opened up in a few places, like right here and a few other places, especially where there's plumbing, and it's wide open and missing some insulation in some areas. And we don't like to see penetrations in that membrane, because if rodents get in there, they have total access of almost the whole floor. So anyway, there's some pretty big openings with some missing insulation. There's another opening there. You can see the pink insulation hanging down, but there's more further down that way and further down that way. That really should be fixed to keep the rodents out, but also to insulate the floor. That's about it. Everything else seems to look okay that I can think of. All right, that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and we're going to go inside.